Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order as best I know. Oh wait, that's another show. Forgot about that. No, here we go. We're rereading Jedi vs. Sith. This is the 6-issue comic book series by Dark Horse. This came out before Path of Destruction, and Drew Karpyshyn tried his best to connect everything in there, which really, I told you, was the offsetting parts of the novel. The comic book, I don't remember how I reviewed this the first time. I don't think it was that good, and rereading it again, it's still not good. It focuses on 3 kids, Tomcat, Bug, and Rain. Rain has no Force abilities at first, but later on, as we all know, will develop them and become Darth Zana. But she is totally pointless in this comic book series. You see her every once in a while. She gets, for some reason, a Jedi Master Tour recruits children to go to Ruusan to help in the battle. I get they're helping out in the kitchen and something. Why are you bringing children into the battle? I don't understand that. And at the same time, Tomcat and Bug. Tomcat is, kind of what's it called? He's kind of aggressive. He really wants to be a Jedi, but you can tell he's got some dark side in him. He wants to just fight and kill, and he gets brought into a battle. Like the first time you see, he's kind of, I wouldn't say evil, but he has some darkness in him, is when the Jedi Master that they're with sacrifices himself to save them. And so Tomcat goes down into the valley to go retrieve his old master's lightsaber. The old master's alive. Tomcat doesn't even help him. He just moves back up and just runs away and lets his master die. And you're thinking, oh, okay, so he's a little dark here. Whereas his friend Bug, which is really stupid, is kind of nice, and it's like they want to spend time on these kids, but they really don't spend that much time. Besides Tomcat, he eventually joins the Sith midway through the battle, kills Gethamy's lover, and I thought Drew Karpyshyn said in his book that Gethamy's lover was dead. Well, Gethamy assumed he was dead, but there's a little bit of Gethamy in there and her little story as she confronts her lover, and Tomcat ends up killing him and joining the Sith. And Bug's really upset, so he joins the Jedi ranks. He gets a lightsaber too, so 2 kids can fight later on in the comic book series. You're like, who cares that they're fighting? They're kids. They have no Jedi, no Force abilities whatsoever. Let's see. Lord Hoth is in it. Oh, Lord, whatever the one with the blonde hair, Lord Dandy, we'll call him that, the Jedi Master Dandy. He flies in a pirate ship. It looks like a pirate ship, like a space pirate ship, a golden space pirate ship with like jet engines on the side. I'm not making this up. It does not look anything like Star Wars. I am heavily convinced that the person who wrote this cared nothing about Star Wars. He wanted to write his own story, kind of Lord of the Rings like, because the Jedi that are on his ship all have pointed ears like elves, and they kind of look like elves, And I'm like, what is this? One of his fellow Jedi is a winged creature who finally makes peace with Lord Hoth. And in Drew Karpyshyn's book, they kind of explain why Lord Hoth had a change of heart toward this, Jedi Master Dandy. When the herald or whatever, the messenger comes back and says, Lord Hoth has apologized on his own. He's like, ha, ha, ha. And this is a winged Jedi he's talking to. Someday I'm going to pluck up all your feathers and tickle you with them. I'm serious. That's what he said. I don't remember that. First time I read, I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. And for something called Jedi versus Sith, you think it'd be a little bit better than that, because it was hyped to be something big. You want to see Jedi versus Sith. Man, I don't know what that comic book's about, but I want to read it. It's Jedi versus Sith. And you're getting, why am I getting kids called Tomcat, Bug, and Rain? Rain gets shot out of the... it's funny because, in a way, as the Jedi Master Tour is coming into the planet Ruusan, they get attacked by Sith, and it blows out part of their hull, which instantly kills 2 kids. A brother and a sister are dead. They're like, oh, goody, we get to fight the Sith. And then, boom, they're destroyed. And like, okay. And then Rain gets sucked out of the space car too. And you're like, oh my gosh, is she dead? No, these little aliens called bouncers. They're big, furry things that kind of float through the air, and they give their thoughts. And suddenly, because, Drew Karpyshyn explains this better, but because the Sith burns the forest, it kind of makes all the bouncers crazy. I don't know why. And they start talking about pain and death, and whatever they feel, you start feeling in your head. So they can project images or, feelings into you. So the Jedi, with a bow and arrow, I'm not making this up, with a bow and arrow starts killing them, just shooting them out of the sky. Like, you shoot squirrels with a BB gun. You guys did that, right? Anyway, so they're just randomly killing these bouncers. And I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. Now that I remember, I've totally forgotten. Tomcat didn't destroy the boyfriend. I don't think. It was Rain who did. Because the boyfriend of Gethemy kills her bouncer, and then she suddenly, who has little to no force ability, kills both of these big Jedi masters, or big Jedi knights in the battle. That's kind of weird. Drew Karpyshyn kind of plays it down and said they were just younger Jedi. He didn't tell us who they were, and I like that better. But at the end, there's scenes with Darth Bane that we saw when we were reading the book, and it's obvious to me that Drew Karpyshyn read the comic book and went, "Yee, this sucks." He doesn't like Tomcat escape. Gethemy escapes in the novel. Gethemy escapes the time bomb by herself. She's alone. But in this one, she runs before the thought bomb even gets triggered, and she takes Tomcat with her. And Tomcat meets Bug, and they have a little battle. But Gethemy's tired of them just fighting lightsabers, not killing anyone, so she gets Bug with her light whip and injures him, says, "Come on, let's go," and then she runs for it. Well, the thought bomb's triggered, and for some reason it sucks the life out of Bug, but it doesn't destroy Tomcat. The thought bomb that kills all the Jedi, even Gethemy, who's farther away, she gets caught up in the thought bomb, and it just, of course, makes her into dust. The difference between the comic book and the book, there's a lot of contradictions here, because in the book, Gethemy just basically dies on her own. She's a mummified corpse, takes a few steps, and then crumbles into dust and everything, like I said last time. But in this comic book, she actually, it is kind of cool, she gets to see Bane. She's like, "Lord Bane, I have survived." And she comes out of the shadows, and she's all like mummified and crusted, and she's like, "Now I can be your apprentice, and now we can rule the galaxy just like you've always wanted." She's going back to him because now he's the winner. He's the most powerful one. But then she kind of crumbles into dust, and her skull kind of bounces up to Bane. He picks it up and looks at it, and that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. I wish Drew Karpyshyn would have kept that. But for some reason, he just kind of changed it to where she kind of dies alone. I guess so. And Drew Karpyshyn doesn't mention any of the kids except for Darth Zana, because Rain, he's going to mention her because he's going to use her later on. But the other kids like, nope, I'm not going to talk about Tomcat. Tomcat was never there. I'm not going to say Tomcat in my book here. Why Tomcat is never, are we supposed to be told that he never had the Force in him, and that's why the thought bomb didn't destroy him? Later on, for some reason, he lifts his lightsaber against Darth Bane, and Rain, even though she knows him and she loves Tomcat at the beginning of this comic book, she explodes his hand with the Force, because now I guess she's evil. Now that she's killed 2 Jedi out of anger for them killing her little pet bouncer, she shoots his hand off, and he's saying, "Am I a Jedi? Am I a Sith?" And at the end they go, "No, you're a man." He went, "I am a man." And he's walking with a staff in one arm like he's some wise guy with all these bouncers. It's really weird. It's really weird. It's really terrible. It's a really terrible series overall, and it's a shame too. I know Drew Karpyshyn tried to change the narrative after he read the comic book and went, "This is crap. We can do better." And usually I get mad at people for changing, trying to change what always been pre-established, but reading the comic book, yeah, it's really bad. And Drew Karpyshyn did us all a favor by correcting some things. Yes, the Jedi versus Sith never should have been made. It feels like a Star Wars Tales story, really. And it's not that good. It's not that good. Is it the worst thing? It could be. It could be in my new top 10. I guess it could be, but it's just not well thought out. The design on some of the characters, like I said, making some of them look like elves. The starship that looks like Captain Hook's ship with just jet engines slapped on the side, painted gold. Really dumb. I looked at that and went, "What is that?" It was really stupid. There's some really dumb moments in there, so it's not that good. I should mention that I also read Bane of the Sith, a short story from the Star Wars Gamer by Kevin J. Anderson. And this is basically happening. I think this was written right as Jedi vs. Sith was coming out. And it's obvious that Kevin J. Anderson didn't have the full story of Darth Bane either, because he knows the thought bomb went off, and he knows some of the Sith that were going to be mentioned in the, I guess, the comic book. And so he has them as Force Ghost leading Bane to Freedom Nad's tomb to find, you know, something that can help him out, maybe another Sith holocron or something. Why would Lord Khan help him? And they weren't friends in the comic book, and they definitely weren't friends in the book. But that's where he gets those obelisk, you know, buried into his skin, and that's really cool, because, you know, he's impervious to pain. They can stop lightsabers and everything, and they basically strengthen him. They feed off the dark side like he does, and he finds strength and having these obelisks bury into his chest, and it's basically he has his own armor now, his living armor. And I remember thinking that was really cool, and I used to love Bane of the Sith, but there's a big glaring contradiction between this and Drew Karpyshyn's book, because again, Kevin J. Anderson may not have read the Jedi vs. Sith. He probably got the gist from the author and said, okay, I can go with that. And maybe the author of the comic book thought this was the same thing too, but in the Drew Karpyshyn's book, it's Darth Bane who knows about the thought bomb and tricks Lord Khan into doing it. In the comic book and in Bane of the Sith, Bane even admits that Lord Khan was stupid using the thought bomb. I tried to warn him, don't use the thought bomb, and he did it. He destroyed the Jedi. What a fool. No, Bane, that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted the whole time. And in the short story, he's talking about establishing the rule of two now that the Sith are all gone, but it's almost like he regrets that Lord Khan was so foolish to do that thought bomb. How could he be so stupid destroying the Sith like that? No, that's not how Bane thinks. But in the comic book, if you just read the comic book and then read Bane of the Sith, those would connect better. So the narrative's not really good. Also, I should also mention that Darth Zana isn't with him. So I don't think Kevin J. Anderson understood that he was going to get an apprentice at the end of the comic book series, because there's no mention of an apprentice. And then at the end he goes, now to go to Onderon to find my apprentice. I'm guessing Darth Zana was just hanging out on Onderon, and you told her to wait there while you go do something real quick. Maybe that can be it. But and that may not be a contradiction, so to speak, but it does look like Anderson did not know that he didn't have an apprentice by the end of Jedi vs. Sith, and there could have been a last-minute change, because that happens in the last comic book. So Kevin Smith may not have known. Bane of the Sith, like I said, is good because he gets his obelisk armor or his skin. He fights some kind of beast just to kind of test out his new power, and now he's moving on. It's just a short story from the Star Wars Gamer, which is what it's supposed to be. At the same time, though, Drew Karpyshyn's story is what you should read. Should you read Jedi vs. Sith? Are you ready? No, I don't think so. I'm even going to say don't read it. I mean, if you have it, yeah, you're going to read it. You can read it and agree with me. That's just not good. Drew Karpyshyn did us all a favor by kind of saying, I'm going to change a few things here. His version's much better. It makes more sense this way. I don't blame Kevin J. Anderson's Bane of the Sith, but when you read it, you're going to be like, wait, why is Bane mad? It was his idea for the thought bomb. If you get rid of all that, and I don't really like the ghost of Lord Khan like helping him. Well, Bane, you wanted to take over the Sith. You wanted to redirect them to the rule of two, so I'm going to help you, guide you to a way to do it. Why would a Sith ghost be around? Wouldn't they be trapped on Ruusan? I think that's the story, that those spirits are trapped forever within the thought bomb. And I think they say that in the comic book. They're trapped within this sphere that the thought bomb, now exists in, or is the aftermath of the thought bomb. So... And again, Kevin J. Anderson probably didn't know how the comic book was going to end, so that's probably why it's not technically a contradiction, but you could see it as one. So it's unfortunate. Kevin J. Anderson's short story is unfortunate because for a few little facts he gets wrong, the short story is pretty good. However, Jedi vs. Sith. Yeah, really not good. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.